What's
you.
up? What's up? What's up? What's up,
What's up? What's
family?
up? What's
What's
up?
up? How you doing?
Ah,
Can you can
I
you
am.
can you,
I am fine.
can you
Can you
MJ
what?
music?
Can
Can you MJ music?
you sound like you were trying to do a rap like can you
Kick, 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 kick,
kick kick
kick,
kick
kick, kick,
kick.
kick.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, so we are back, Barry Riley. Now, listen, we haven't done a live in a long time.
Not on this type of topic, this type of
Well, we
day.
haven't done spiritual
Right.
shift in a minute. I feel like it's been a while
Haven't
since we
done
did it
spiritual
on
shift in a minute.
yeah,
Right.
since we did it on our
Right. Right.
Sunday and since we started. And just to introduce those of you who are watching in the future, hello, hello, welcome to Spiritual Shift. You may be watching it either on Kenya MJ Music YouTube channel or you are watching it on Spiritual Shift. And
On the
so,
spiritual shift.
yeah, on the Spiritual Shift channel. So make sure you subscribe to both. Make sure you subscribe to both. Like, share, do all the things. And so, um, B. Sean
And
Riley, can I call you Barry?
you can call me Barry. Yes. So it's at spiritual shift, right? It's at spiritual
Yes.
shift.
Yeah. Yep.
At
Yep.
spiritual
Yep.
shift.
So, can you, before we get into today's topic, which is scrolling nicely at the bottom, which is a
Yes.
interesting, kind of interesting. When did God start living in the sky? And I know many people are like, "What are they? What are they? What?" Before
He got
we
a
talk
big
about
old crib. He got a big old house, a big old mansion in the sky. Yeah. No.
our topic, can you explain for the newcomers what does spiritual shift even mean? What is it
Yeah. So
briefly?
so really, yeah. Spiritual shift is really a platform for non-denominational, um, for people that really want to dig deeper into their spiritual awakening, their spiritual life, their spiritual journey. Doesn't matter whether you're Christian, a Muslim, Jewish. Doesn't matter your spiritual tradition, your spiritual traditions. We really are about helping people tap into that divine spark within them and develop that spark so that they can live a more healthy, um, whole, and prosperous life. Period. That's
Period.
spiritual church. That's it. You
Awesome.
know, we
Awesome.
aren't we aren't a denomination. We aren't a religion. You know, none of that. We are two people that are on their own spiritual journey and have been on that journey for quite a while. Twists and turns, ups and downs, um, and we want to help other people that are on their journey. We want to help other people. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's it.
Absolutely. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. And if you can just so people know kind of what's your just quickly, what do you do? Like what gives you the I mean, because you have a little bit other than the personal experience, maybe just let people also know
Yeah,
what you do so they have a little context.
yeah. So many years ago, I actually went to seminary, um, and graduated with MDiv and was in the ministry. Um, and I went through somewhat of an awakening myself in the middle of seminary, and my seminary experience was very intense. It was very we it was a 3 year program. If those of you who aren't familiar with seminary, it's a 3 year program, and it was very intense. Some people didn't make it. It was just too intense for them. We studied religions from all over the world. We traveled sometimes once a year. We would travel. Certain students would travel to other parts of the world to study religions and cultures and stuff like that. So eventually, I once I graduated, I decided not to continue with my ordination and my Christian pastoral visions and aspirations to pursue truth, what I thought was truth, and what I believe was a more authentic rendering of Christianity and other religions. and that was 25 plus years ago that I did that, and I never wavered. I'm deep in the game here.
He's deep in the game, and we're
Yeah.
gonna, yeah. And I'm just happy that you're in the game. I also just want to let everybody know, if you don't know, Barry and I are partners. We are a couple, so I don't want, so we just throw it out there. So we talk about this stuff all the time. We're always in each other's ear, influencing each other's heads and hearts. And so spiritual shift is something that we're really, really passionate about. And we've been doing a myriad of things kind of off and on the past 2 years, but we really want this to be on. We want this to stay on. And so we're hoping that we will bring this. Our plan is to do every Sunday except for the last Sunday of the month, give ourselves a break then. I don't know the time, y'all. Some Sundays it might be in the evening, some Sundays it might be in the morning. I don't know. We don't have a regular time yet. We'll see kind of what works. Obviously, we'd love to hear your comments if you have a thought or constructive feedback. But what we are doing, though, is each month we're going to have a theme. And so this month's theme, we're exploring beyond belief. Okay, we're really wanting to encourage everyone to go a bit beyond what maybe their typical is, and to kind of reimagine faith and what they're doing. And actually, at the end, before we jump off, I'm going to have Barry talk about a new course that he's going to be offering. We have a wait list that you can sign up now for. You can join the wait list for free. And then when the registration opens, you'll be first to contact. And if there's any kind of discounts or what have you. And he'll explain more later what that is, along with there's some other opportunities to really, if this is resonating for you, to dig in if you want to be in community with us. But today, what we want to focus on in our 30 minutes or so, I told myself we would not go beyond 40. So I got the clock. I'm looking, not beyond that,
I'm
45 at the
looking.
most.
I'm looking.
But around 30 mark, I'm going to but what we're exploring today is scrolling there at the bottom. And we will be bringing these spiritual shifts on Sunday. So I just said spiritual shift Sunday. But the question of the day is, when did God start living in the sky? So Barry kind of comes up with these titles and these ideas. I mean, I kind of get in there and say, oh, yeah, that sounds good. But what are we talking about? Why did you ask this question? Why did you want to talk about this today?
Um, well, we have been talking about the God concept. It came from our discussions, our personal discussions around the God concept, and how our God concept basically, it paints everything in our lives. And it actually had come from some other discussions we were having about people, and kind of like their lives and what was going on in their lives, and how they were looking at things and viewing things, whether it be relationships, like, where does God go send me a husband, or where does God gonna give me, you know, all of, like, women, that's a big thing. Like, when is God gonna send me my husband, or other things? Oh, I'm waiting on the Lord. Or so I was like, it's really our concept of God, that concept, um, that colors everything related to our walk spiritually, or our faith journey. It's how we view the God concept.
Mm,
And so that's where it came from. That's where,
yeah.
and you were right there when it came. Yeah, you were right
Well,
there.
I thought, yes, when we talked about it, and I was listening to a podcast. Patrice Washington. She has a great podcast. I never can remember the name of it, and I should be giving her that. But at any rate, it's about wealth, but she goes into kind of the psychology of wealth. But she has been really very, honest and transparent about her journey. She's gone through divorce and a variety of things. And so one of the things she's been really pushed, she said, is her spiritual walk, and how she's had to really expand her God concept. And when she said that, I was like, yes, the God concept. And I think that's what kind of, I might have mentioned something, and then we went kind of further into it. So each week this month, except for the last Sunday we will not be here, but we're going to kind of explore this God concept and ask questions related to that. And so today, when did God start living in the sky? I have come up with some questions that I want Barry, because Barry, what he did not say, he is a spiritual teacher. He's finishing up his certification as a spiritual coach. He's a counselor. He's a lot. All right. He's an educator. He owns his nonprofit organization. I mean, he's just a really, and then he's just a beautiful human. So yeah. So I am going to kind of throw these questions out to him and then kind of hear his thought. I might weigh in a little bit, but I don't, we probably are not going to have time to go through them all. But the first question, and I'm reading y'all because I'm not memorizing stuff. So I got to look at my stuff. When, and especially since you went to seminary, so you'll really be able to kind of give perspective to this, but also just as you, when and why did different religions start to picture God or gods as living in the sky? Like, where did this
Really?
whole idea of, yeah, come from?
Yeah. So so I'm gonna make it real. Like, I'm not gonna go deep into like all of the stuff, right? I'm not gonna do that.
Right, right.
I'm just
We only
gonna
got 30 minutes.
generally, right? I'm just gonna generally just say, boom, this is kind of what happened. So there's this thing called
Oh, he bounced off. Okay, hold on. He don't know that he bounced off. Let me tell him. Hey Barry, you're off. His device is not connected. Hopefully he probably clicked it. I hope you can hear me, Barry, and you will click. Otherwise, it's just me. Aw, sweetie, what happened? He'll come back. Uh okay, you're coming. I kind of see you. There you are. Stay there. Don't move. There you are. You must have hit something.
I didn't hear nothing.
You got
Okay,
excited and then you.
yeah, move.
All right.
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Um. So there's this thing called mythology. All right. So you know, God has, because of, through mythology, God has always kind of been in the sky. um, and understand, there's a myriad of spiritual systems, religions, all kind of stuff. So I'm speaking very general. I'm going to speak very general. So God, through mythology, the God concept, has always kind of been in the sky because of mythology, as well as you have the sun, you have the moon, you have rain, you have lightning, you got birds, you got all this stuff that's in the sky. So from ancient times, mankind is like, okay, there's something going on in the sky here, and we can't control it. So there must be some powerful force in the sky, and we need to figure out what that is so that we can kind of politic with it, get kind of cozy with it, so it won't burn us up to death, or it won't flood us out when it rains, or that lightning stuff, that little, it won't
Mm,
hit us. So it's always been that way. God has always been in the sky. The difference is, which is where we kind of got into this conversation, is that it's God was also not just in the sky. God was in nature as well. God was in the trees. He was in the rivers. He was in the water. He was in the grass and the mountains, and everywhere. And he was, or she, not just
yeah, I
he.
said, yeah, right, right.
And that's the real key piece, because the God in the sky was kind of, at at we'll just say, for the sake of this discussion, was a male. All right. At
Mhm.
Well, from the time point that we want to deal with, let's just say it was a male. All right. And nature and everything underneath the sky, the earth, where we were, was a female. um
Mm, mm,
Nature, the
mm,
trees, the
mm,
waters, the rivers, all that
mm.
was female.
Mm.
So God was always in the sky. That what happened with the
Interesting.
Greeks and the Romans, and then when Christianity started really building up speed and coming into like real fruition, the whole God just was in the sky, and there was no
Hmm.
God in nature. There was no God in the waters, in the rivers, in the mountains, and in community. There was none of that. It was just God in the sky. And
Mm.
that was done intentionally, and in my opinion, that was done intentionally, and it sort of stiff armed the the feminine the feminine
Yeah.
goddess. It's sort of like we don't want the feminine. So that's why you don't have God in the earth and in the waters and in nature. It's not even in
Well,
Christianity and
they say
most.
Mother Nature, right? They say Mother Nature. Is that where Mother Nature, that concept of
Yes,
Mother Nature kind of came from, was more of the
yes,
feminine
yes,
of
yes,
interesting. Hmm.
yes.
Interesting.
And if
Yeah.
you look at most, like, I'm not familiar with all indigenous cultures, but I am familiar with quite a
Right.
few. If you look at most indigenous cultures, they revere nature. All right.
Right. Right.
Nature is where they get their sustenance. Nature is where they don't look. I mean, they may look up to God for sure, but they also look to nature as a part of the God concept as well. So
Mm.
so yeah. So that's just
Interesting. I mean,
so
no, I
so that
think that's a nice. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, no, I'm saying that, but that's a quick little version of to answer that question. And it plays into the role of the feminine, and how the feminine has just been kind of like smacked to the side, um, which is how you can destroy nature, and you can ravage nature, because nature is not it's irrelevant if you have that God
Wow.
concept, that God is up
Right.
here, and God is not nature as well.
Interesting. So you just kind of, we never talked about it like this. This is my first time really hearing you kind of explain like that. And yeah, this idea of how we treat our earth and our, with just like,
Yeah,
but, yet, still like God. And just, I mean, and while people will say, no, God is in the trees and God is in the plants, and people are like, yeah, yeah, and still have a hard time understanding that because of how conditioned, I just can't. My mind is so blown, just like I think daily of how
yeah,
conditioned
yeah,
and colonized and monopolized, and just that our minds are, and how we normalize things based on these narratives that were never true, really, that weren't, they
right.
were created in order to take control. So I
Yeah, let me say this one.
really,
Let me
yeah.
say this one little piece too, just
Hmm.
to make it clear how synergistic everything is that in ancient mythology thinking, the rain that came from the sky, that came from the god concept in the sky, this masculine male figure, when it rains on the earth, which is the feminine goddess, and there's a copulation type situation going on. All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the rain fertilizes the earth and
Absolutely.
brings forth life, just like the man fertilizes the woman and she brings forth life.
Right.
So yeah, I just want to put that out there.
Well,
It's
it's,
more
yeah, I mean,
so.
as it is above, it is below. Like, I mean, we have to, I can't encourage us more, to get, and then I'm going to ask my next question, but to really, we're watching weather and climate. That seems how people connect to nature, like, is kind of how's the weather? Like, that's kind of the way. But we really have not, I think, and even I really have to take more time really taking in nature because we are a part of it. This is an ecosystem and it's real. So, all right, next question. That was awesome. Next question. Next question. Which one do I want to do? Okay, I'll take the last one that was on here. So, what happens when we think of God as a part of everything, like nature, and inside of us, instead of as far away in the sky? Like what? So this idea of God being inside of us, we just talked about it being in nature, but what? How then does God, or in your opinion, or if you have some kind of reference that point, but this idea of God being inside of us, how so?
Mhm.
Or should we even
Uh,
consider? I mean, is God
Consider that, right?
this? Yeah.
So
Hmm.
so let me just say this, and this is all my opinion. This
Yes.
is all my opinion, right? This is my opinion. That's backed up by lots of research, I know. But you know, I have, on our channel, I have done talks and I teach how really Christianity and like the Judaism and Islam, when they really came on the scene, really captured the whole concept of what this thing is all about when it comes to God and religion and life. So let's take Christianity. When you, and I'm going to get to your question, but I got to lay this down real quick. Like when you have God inside of you and God in nature, then there really isn't a big need for me to go to a centralized authority on trying to get to God. You understand what I'm saying?
I
And
absolutely did.
you still had your, even when you had indigenous cultures, and you still have indigenous cultures today, you still had your medicine man, you still had your priests, you still had your shamans, you still had these people that were at a heightened level, but you also had the ability to do your own rituals, to do your own approach and process to access divinity. Do you know what I'm saying? So talking about God inside you, talking about God in nature was just kind of like, no, we don't want that. We don't want God in nature. One, God in nature is feminine. So we definitely don't want that. We want God is
Oh, you went away again. I think what happens is when he's talking, like where he's at, and if he does this, I think it disconnects. I think that's what happens because, or he hits a button or something, he turns off the camera. So if you hit where it says camera, my love, I think, I think it should, where it says webcam. Yes. And then your camera. We're close. He's coming, guys. There. Okay. Here he is. I
oh my
think you've
God.
accidentally.
Okay, I
I
can't
think
I
you
can't
accidentally
right, I can't
hit
touch
the. Yeah.
right. Yeah,
Don't touch.
I can't touch that. All
Okay.
right.
Okay. 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 Okay.
So
Okay.
so when you talk about the God within, we can't have the God within because I need you to come down to the church, or I need you to go and come here for God. I don't need you to do all that.
Mm.
So all that was just kind of like poo-pooed and kind of pushed away because you know, like I've talked about before in many talks, that there was a plethora of spiritual systems, even religions, while Christianity was being formed. You know, before Christianity, Christianity even took a lot of its components from these other spiritual systems and spiritual ideologies and put inside of Christianity. And then was like, nah, okay, we don't need y'all anymore. We're gonna like stomp you out because we just wanted this version so that it's centralized so that
Mm,
people can just come through us to get to God. And that's where we are today.
that's deep. That's deep. And I'm gonna kind of pause there for a minute because I know, the world is changing so fast. At the same time, to me, it's like it's returning home. Meaning
Hmm.
this, I feel like as a society, as humans, there's been so much bamboozlement and so much control that it has really disconnected us from the essence of who we are and the essence of our subconscious, the essence of our purpose, our value. And to your point, that we have to somehow externally find something, someone to give us some kind of affirmation or power. And to me, what's happening is we're being stripped of these external material, I mean, all kinds of things to get our attention to go inward. And so, if we can imagine God residing inside, then as we're going inward, look at there. We're
Hmm.
actually now being able to connect even deeper to God because of that.
Hmm.
And I think some of this, I think the average maybe person who has some type of faith practice or faith belief kind of, believes that there's some source that's within. But when life starts lifing, when that relationship starts, like, I can't take it no more, when that job is like, or when I can't get that job, then our call is to go outward, right? God help me, Jesus, like, we do this external, which I don't think is anything wrong with that. I mean, that's a factor. But there's also this factor inside of us, right? And there's this power inside of us. So when these difficulties and these challenges hit our lives, I feel like we're so quick to just ignore the power we have within to go to the external. And it's like, to me, in my head, I know what I've had to do in my life, and what seems to work best is when, yes, I utilize all all hands on deck. All hands on deck.
Hmm.
We need to do, the energy out here, the energy in here, the all hands on deck. And so I don't know. I just wanted to kind of say that. I don't know for you, when you are practicing a God energy, or do you practice, how do you get into community with that? Is that something that you just feel is inside of you? Is it something that you kind of access, like what I just explained? Both thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a really valid point because like we are here, and this is, I explain that everything is about our belief system, our belief system. So we are here to experience certain things and to walk a path as souls. Like we're souls here having a spiritual experience, also a physical experience.
A
All
human
right.
experience too. Absolutely.
A
Yeah.
human experience, right? Our soul
Right.
is here having a physical experience, a spiritual experience, a human experience.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that one, the the goal and the challenge, all at the same time, is to get into alignment with the path. What people have called your soul contract. Like, what did you come here to do? Like, what did you? There's
Or
like
even
like think
believe
about
that you came here to do something. I mean,
you
I
keep
don't know
believe
if
that you came here
everybody
to do
believes
something.
that. Yeah, I don't know if
Right. See,
everybody believes that.
that's where I'm going. That's where I'm
Yeah.
going. So
Yeah.
so that has to be a belief first. Like there's nothing that you do in your life once you are not a baby and you can like kind of direct your even if you're 5 or 10 years old and you can just be in the house, you have a like you're going to the kitchen or you're going to get your toys or you're going to do this. You know what I'm saying? You're going from somewhere to somewhere. So why is it not possible for all of it, all of all of the what it took for us to get here in this life. Do you know what I'm saying? Like many of us
Yeah.
have heard the story. I've said this in one of our talks before. Like there was an explosion when your mom and your daddy got together, and it was a
A
gazillion of the
gazillion.
things. You made it. You made it. You made it into the egg and developed in your mother for 9 months. You survived 9 months. Everybody doesn't survive.
No.
Then you came out into the world. Then you started growing. So all that was just for what? For you to just bump around? No. Is it is it unthinkable that you had a purpose, a reason for going through all that so that you could get here to do something? So
Yeah.
once we can get in alignment with that, then we can kind of manage all the things that are going to hop onto that path. For example, think about when you're going somewhere. If you're going somewhere, you're going to a party, you're going to a game, you're going to hang out with your friends for lunch. Traffic could be crazy. You stop. Are you just going to turn around and go back home? No, you're going to sit there in traffic, or you're going to try to find another way. Right. There's nothing that's going to stop you from getting to where you're going. The thing is
Right.
that we don't know where we're going.
Right. Right.
So
Or
when something
we don't believe in where we're going.
we don't believe in where we're going. We don't know where we're going. We don't believe in where we're going. We don't know what we're supposed to be doing here. So when certain things happen, oh, this happened, my marriage, this whatever, all this kind of stuff happens. It's like once you and that's why I'm committed to doing this work now is because in my own life I had to figure out where I was going and what I was doing here. Because other than that, you can easily get stuck in, oh, I'm just going to go to work, I'm just going to get a job, I'm just going to do all these things, and then it's like, well, does that really have meaning? Like, what is the meaning behind all of this stuff?
Right.
So I think
And it's not to
having a
say,
sense
oh, I'm sorry. Mhm.
is
Go ahead.
no, exactly. I don't know if you're going to say it's not to say that any of those things are wrong because they're a part of
Right.
the journey. All
Right.
that stuff is a
Ex
part of the journey, but it's not the goal of the journey.
mm,
You're going somewhere with all that stuff. All the things
mhm.
that you're doing in your life, you're doing all those things to get somewhere. And it's actually not even an ending point. It's just a journey that you're on that you want to be growing and evolving as you're doing this journey. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. 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 And
Yeah.
believe it or not, we're at our 33 minutes. We're at 33. But I said we could go for till 40, 45. Absolutely. And I just hope,
40,
we're
45.
doing these we're doing these talks because these are things we're passionate about. But also to make all of this accessible and not, have these talks that may seem kind of deep or not so much for some people, depending on your journey, but just making things accessible and see if we can have community around it. So, we have some other activities that are coming up. I want to mention them. Hello, hello. Jazzy K. Ward is in the room. Hello. And I was just going to say, if you had a question for us I'm going to kind of do a couple of announcements, but if you have a question or a comment about anything that we just talked about. When did God start living in the sky? Your own experience. If you're watching this in the future, you also can still comment. We ask the comments to be respectful. I think when we're talking about spirituality and our faith and our meaning and our purpose, it's extremely sensitive. It's extremely, can be very private, can be all of those things. So we're taking our leaps of faith and sharing our thoughts. And so we just ask that, our audience stay respectful and be able to honor constructive comments and all the good things and positive things. I am going to give you another question, but I did want you, could you talk about, I have three things with this is resonating. If you're like, oh, I like the way they talking about this or explaining this. We are again really wanting to build this community, and one of the first things, we just created a Patreon page, but it's a free. It's not set up. I mean, you can join it for free. You're gonna get all the stuff. We just trying to have a space that's not necessarily on Facebook, but that could allow us to be in community. So if you, I'm gonna put this. Oh, that's right. I'm not doing good with my little banner. Okay, hold on. I gotta go to my banner. You see that little thing scrolling? We're gonna remove that one because that one. Here we go. All right, that one's gone. But. Oh, I don't know if I put the other one. I thought I did. Oh man. Well, this is what I'm gonna put here. I'm gonna put this right here. You can go to patreon.com/spiritual shift to just join for free. But Barry also has a new course that he is doing. It's not ready yet. You didn't miss it. It's not going to come out till 2025, January 2025. It's called Beyond Belief, Faith Reimagined. It's a 4-session course, and we're having a wait list right now. So, can you tell them a little bit, just briefly, about this course that you're doing? I'm so excited, y'all. I saw the outline,
This
and I
is
was
this
like,
is this
and
is
what did I say? I was like, "Ah, I love it. I want to take the
yeah, it's
class."
yeah, it's pretty special to me. It's very personal. Like I've said earlier, in this talk, that I was, I grew up as an evangelical fundamental Christian, and loved my experience. I I'm still involved with lots of people that are still Christians. I don't identify as a Christian anymore. Once I went to seminary, I decided to leave Christianity. Um, but I still was very connected to the Bible and the stories, and um, so in addition, I don't mention this a lot, but my grandfather was an Ahmadiyya Muslim. So my mother, all my aunties grew up all Muslim. All right. I could easily be a Muslim. My cousins grew up all Muslim on that side. So this course, Beyond Belief, is really a personal how I went from being Jesus, Jesus, Jesus to moving beyond belief, because and it's not about um like if you're a Christian and you want to stay a Christian, it's fine. If you're a Muslim, you want to stay, or if you don't have a
Right.
particular faith, you don't or you're involved in spiritual, what it's really designed to do is to take people deeper into the story of what we're here to do, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Muslim, or you have a spiritual practice. It's designed to take us deeper into how to reimagine your faith, so that it's not just you're going to church. Like if you're just going to church and that's all you want to do, this isn't really for you. I'm just gonna keep it real with
Yeah.
you. If you're just going to mosque and that's all you want to do, this course is not really for you. It's only I built it with me as the template, because when I left seminary, I wanted to be a pastor. I have friends that are pastors. I wanted to be a pastor, but in good conscience, I knew that it was more to it than what was being taught in the churches and in the mosque. It's just so much more to it. So this course is just like a basic level of like, this is really how you can be engaging in your spiritual life every day. So we're going to be reframing a lot of things. We're going to be repositioning and reimagining. That's why it's called Beyond Belief, Faith Reimagined. Um, because in my estimation, in my opinion, in my belief system, that you should be evolving and growing every single day. every single day. Every single day that you are practicing your whatever it is that you're practicing, you should be evolving, and you should be so full of your stuff, you know what I'm saying, that it's just bubbling over. You don't have to say nothing. People should just be able to see it in you. You should walk into a crowd and be like, man, there's something different about you. Um, and all of the religions have it inside of them, all of the spiritual traditions. And that's what we're talking about in Beyond Belief, is how to reimagine your faith so that you can evolve and grow and be like a dynamic person all the
Human,
way around.
yeah.
A
Soul
dynamic human.
having a human experience. Yeah.
Right.
Well, as I said, y'all, I get, because I get to spend my time with this soul, Barry, I get to see the behind the scenes. And so I saw the outline and I'm like, oh my God, I love this. I love it so much. And honestly, what I love so much about it, one is 4 sessions. So it's not like you're committing, a whole year, you got to do graduate school all over again. It's not that. It and the sessions are really very tangible and interactive and experiential. So it's not just sitting and taking notes, but it is some of that. It's you having an opportunity to share, to reflect, to think, and then to be in community with others. So again, if this is sounding interesting, there's no commitment by joining the wait list. If you join the wait list, you it's not you we just gonna let you know when things open, and then it's at that point if you want to make more of a commitment. So if you go to patreon.com/spiritual shift, when you go on that page, there's a pinned post. You got to kind of scroll down. First of all, we want you to join. The first thing you're going to see is join for free. So you can just totally join for free. You don't have to pay anything for that. I think we might have a tier if you want more one-on-one time coaching with Barry, but and doing some meditation work with me. But that's not, we really are wanting just to build a community right now. So you can join for free. And then when you keep scrolling down, you're going to see a link that says join the wait list for this course. So you would click on that. It should bring you to a Google form, and it's just a matter of getting your name, email information, any questions or topics you may have. And when we open the actual registration doors, which will probably be around the holidays, probably maybe that right after Thanksgiving, then that's when we'll open it up. And I think the price is really fair. I don't think we've confirmed exactly how much it's going to be yet, but I think it's fair, and I think we're going to be allowing you put down a deposit. You can break it up, that kind of deal, so that it's accessible, super accessible. So I'm excited. So that's that announcement. The other thing is we are doing a very small day retreat. Small day retreat. It is in person. It is in the Chicagoland area. If you are like, oh, a retreat, this retreat is not the course topic. It's actually it's focused on you designing your ancestral practices and your altar and being in community with us. We're going to have breakfast and lunch and discussions. We'll share about generational patterns and what ancestral healing even means. And because it is going to be a very intimate day retreat, we only can take 6 or so people. And so if you're like, ooh, I think I want that, or I'm in Chicago. Oh, actually, I think I want to make this so that people can really see it. Hold on a minute. Hold on. We're not going to make it a ticker. I don't want it a ticker because I want you to be able to see it. Let's see. No ticker. Okay, here we go. All right. So if you go to findingyourvoiceafter40.com/retreats, and I'll probably also place the ancestral thing on the Patreon for the one I just mentioned. But for right now, if you go there, then you'll see information on some other retreats that I have, but I wanted to talk about that one. So if that's interesting to you, make sure that you do that. Okay. That you go to findyourvoiceafter40.com/retreats, or just put in the comments like, hey, I'm interested, and I'll make sure I get this. I'll probably have to add this later into the description so people kind of know where they need to go to get things. But it's there. Just push pause if you watch and you come back. You can go to it. Again, that's very select though. It's going to be in a private location. We don't advertise the address or any of those things. It's very sacred. So I'm really excited about that. And I think that that is it. I'm going to give one last question related to our topic, and then we got to go because it's 45 minutes. We're at the 45. You see how quick that goes?
Oh wow, that went so fast.
I told
All
you
right,
it goes so
goes
quick. All right,
so
all right, all
fast.
right. All right. I'm gonna put those who maybe just are joining like, what are they even talking about? Okay, when did God start living in the sky? So my last question for you, and we'll do it within 5 minutes. Okay. Um, this is kind of interesting. Um, how can today's no, I'll do this one. How do new discoveries in science and space affect the idea of God being above us in the heavens? Ooh, that's kind of deep. Is that a
Hmm.
good question? I don't know. Well,
Um,
let me say. Well, you go ahead.
I'll say just one thing. I'll just say one thing. Scientists' discoveries and pushing into the quantum world. They're looking into the quantum world, and it's like, what? So there's a whole world inside of us. Inside of They used to think that the atom was the smallest. Now it's like they're into the quantum world now, and they're like, oh my God, there's a whole world, there's a whole universe inside of the quantum world. So
Yeah.
if that is the case, then where is that world? Do you know what I'm
Mm,
saying? That world is inside of us. You see what I'm saying? That world is inside of us. So God, so God can, yes, God can be inside of us. The universe is inside of us. So if God is the ruler of the universe, well, if there is a quantum world inside of us, then God can also be inside of us and
absolutely.
in the sky. So yeah, and that
Absolutely.
quantum
Yeah.
world is in everything. The quantum world is in trees. It's in frogs. It's in the quantum world is the. So imagine that there's a whole world in all of these things.
Yeah. It's really
That's
deep, and I mean,
deep.
no, that just kind of blew me away too. But I think the bottom line, I want to say this as my kind of bottom line, and then you can say kind of the moral of the story for you, and then we'll be done. But I think the bottom line for me is we are so powerful because God does reside inside of us and outside of us. And it's just making us powerful from every angle. And so I think knowing we have so much power within, knowing we have access to so much power, um, I just encourage everybody to be taking some type of regular pause to honor that power, whatever that, however way that is. I honor it by creating. I love to create a variety of things. I like to create this type of stuff. He knows I'm a musician, but I also like to just create in my house, like just all kinds of thoughts, downloads. I create, and I realize, wow, and it's just taken me at 51 years old to realize that this is a power. This is a power that I to have ideas come up, to be able to talk about and create them and do them, and that external God and the ancestors and all the spirit guides in the universe, they're all coming together and they're like, yes, go. And so it's like, okay, it's something I kind of like bustle around. And so if we, for me, the bottom line is, the seed starts inside me. you know God is powerful, but if I don't do anything with it, it can't get dispersed into the world. So just, take a just I know life is doing a lot, but yes, unplug for a minute. Yes, just like take a pause so you can honor, the power. So that's my last word. What's your kind of kumbaya moral of the story before we jump off?
Yeah, I want to just piggyback off of what you're saying. Like one of the ways that we are closest to God is when we're creating. Because what do we call God? We call God the creator, right? But we are actual creators as well. Like we're creating all the time. So
Yeah.
that is our God. That is our God inside of us. Our God ability is that we
Yes.
have the ability to create. So let's get to creating. creating things that bring love and happiness and joy and harmony into the world. That's what this is all about for me. And
Absolutely.
not just keeping God up in the sky. God is inside of you. God is all around you. So let's create as creators. Let's do what God does and let's create.
Let's go create. And
Let's
nothing's
go
too
create.
small. Don't think of create just like what you see on, on the mass levels. To your point, anything that's bringing love, anything that's bringing joy, anything that's bringing some sense of community and connection. It may be really small or seem really small, but do it. Do more creating than consuming. Do
Right.
more creating than consuming. So, all right. Well, this was fun. I'm excited. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channels. We're broadcasting on my Kenya MJ Music, but we're also at Spiritual Shift 33. That's what it is.
33
That's
at
what it
Spiritual Shift
is.
33.
Yeah, we were doing it right. We didn't say it completely right. I found it and put it up there. So follow us, subscribe. Make sure you. We'll be back again next Sunday. I don't know what time. I don't know what time. I don't know what time. So you just need to just subscribe because then you're going to get the little notice. Oh, they're going live. So make sure you subscribe. But we'll be here and we're going to continue this conversation around the God concept, but we got a new question for you, and we're not telling you that. You have to subscribe and stay tuned so that you'll find out what the next question is. And if you have a question, please put it in the comments. So, anything else, my
All
love?
right. That's it.
All right.
Love you
All
guys.
right.
Love is the
Love you
way.
guys.
Okay.
Yes. Love,
All
love,
right.
love each other. All right. Take care.